What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got Meet the Greatest Defensive Player of All Time. Let's check this out.
GOAT conversations are often heavily debated. LeBron or Jordan, Messi or Ronaldo. They're questions that
Ronaldo better.
Have a definitive answer. But in the NFL, the answer is clear. On offense, it's Tom Brady. And on defense, it's Lawrence
Taylor, man. Yeah, bro. He was fucking real.
Been fortunate to coach a lot of great defensive players, but
like I feel like the only person that you can say is like kind of on his level so far is Micah Parsons, you know what I'm saying? Because he was similar, you know what I'm saying, to Lawrence Taylor in a way.
Player of the Year awards. He's one of two defensive players to
there's never going to be another Lawrence Taylor.
Completely revolutionized the way his position is played. This is the story of Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player of all time. And Taylor's story begins in Williamsburg, Virginia, where he grew up.
Oh shit, he grew up in VA, yes sir.
His father, Clarence,
VA stand up.
While his mother, Iris, was a school teacher. As a kid, LT was a troublemaker. So, in an attempt to keep him out of trouble, he was introduced to sports. But his first sport wasn't football. He started out his athletic career playing baseball as a catcher. LT didn't even begin playing football until he was 15 and attending Lafayette High School, where his coach recruited him out of the hallway because he was such a big kid. And once Lawrence stepped onto the football field, he knew that it was his true calling. A large part of his first season was spent on the bench until 5 games in, when he blocked a punt which led to Lafayette winning the game. From that moment on, LT's coach knew he could be a star. But because of his late start, he wasn't heavily recruited. One school did give Lawrence a chance though, and it would be one of the best decisions in their program's history. That was the University of North Carolina. At UNC, Taylor actually started out as a defensive lineman, and he didn't really hit his stride until his junior season, when he was moved to his natural position of outside linebacker. 5 sacks, caused an eye-opening 7 forced fumbles, and he even intercepted a pass.
Wait, hold up.
Opening 7 forced fumbles. Natural position of outside linebacker. 5 sacks, caused an eye-opening 7 forced.
Oh, bro, I thought they said his 5 sacks caused 7 forced fumbles. I was about to say, bro, that math is not there.
A pass. He showed all the signs of being an elite defensive player and still had so much room to grow. Prior to his senior year, his head coach, Dick Crum, said, "When Taylor has his mind on business,
first name is
he's as
Dick?
good as there is. I'm talking about everybody in the country now. He is that talented, but he's got to stay mentally ready every Saturday. As coaches, we can help him get there, but in the end, he has to develop that intensity himself. If he does, he's going to be a great one." Well, Taylor seemed to have his mind on his business his senior season, as he racked up 69 tackles, 22 tackles for loss, 4 fumbles, and had 16 sacks. His 16
oh my gosh, bro.
School record for the most in a season. But it wasn't just individual success for Taylor that season. The Tar Heels went 11-1, winning the ACC championship and were ranked 10th in the final AP ranking. LT was named a unanimous first-team All-American for his efforts, as he led the unit that finished 8th nationally in scoring defense and 11th in total defense. Taylor was also named ACC Player of the Year, becoming only the 4th defensive player since 1953 to win the award. Lawrence's play was described by his coaches with 2 words: reckless and aggressive. But that's what made him so special. He had no regard for his body or anyone else's, putting everything on the line every single snap. And his ability to take over games from the defensive side of the ball made him one of the best defensive prospects of all time going into the '81 NFL Draft. 26 of the 28 GMs in the NFL at the time said that if they had the first pick, they would take LT. But come draft night, one of the only 2 teams that weren't interested, the New Orleans Saints, took running back George Rogers with the first pick, leaving the New York Giants to make one of the most important draft choices in their history, taking Lawrence Taylor 2nd overall.
The New York Giants, first-round selection, Lawrence Taylor, linebacker, North Carolina.
And it didn't take long for LT to start dominating the NFL competition.
Lawrence Taylor was a different story. Lawrence Taylor from day one impacted the team, showed he was the best player on the field, way better than everybody else, and built the defense around him from that point going forwards.
In fact, in his very first training camp practice with the Giants, LT went from the 3rd-team defense to the 1st-team before the practice was even over. And the rest of the NFL quickly learned what the Giants had seen all summer, because during the season, Taylor set the league.
That's respect too.
His ability was something never seen before. He was, quite literally, his very own blitz package. Before LT's arrival, a blitzing linebacker was pretty much an afterthought, dealt with by keeping a running back in to deal with the extra pressure. But Taylor paired superhuman physicality with elite pass rush moves to easily blow past those blocking schemes, which led to the greatest rookie season ever seen from a defensive player. Unfortunately, tackles weren't an officially recorded stat until LT's career was over. But the rest of his accolades speak for themselves. He recorded 9.5 sacks, an interception, and a fumble recovery, earning both NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year and NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Taylor became the first rookie to ever win an Offensive or Defensive Player of the Year award, a feat that has still not been repeated to this day. He was also named first-team All-Pro that season.
Did y'all see that happening like this year or something like that? Like a rookie winning, like I could say like probably Marvin Harrison Jr. could win like Offensive Player of the Year, or Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels in a way.
The craziest part is LT was just
like defensively. I don't really know if there's like a player like that can win Defensive Player of the Year.
Just to fend off his pressure, when 1982 rolled around, he continued to wreak havoc. In that strike-shortened season, LT still recorded 7.5 sacks in just 9 games, and once again was crowned the Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-Pro. 82 was when the rest of the NFL realized that what the Giants were doing with Taylor was changing the game. That season, the league's total passing attempts outweighed total rushing attempts for the first time ever, which meant rushing the passer was more important than ever before, and that pass rushers rather than middle linebackers were going to be what defenses were built around. So, in just 2 seasons, Taylor completely changed what it meant to be a linebacker. Prior to the 1983 season, the Giants replaced their old head coach, Ray Perkins, with Bill Parcells. And of course, things changed. After Giants star inside linebacker Harry Carson was injured, Parcells decided to move LT into his inside role, which led to less pass rush opportunities, and it caused a lot of friction between the two.
He was a great coach. I mean, the first week that I come to, I'm practicing. So he kept giving me that every day. I couldn't do nothing right. On
top of that, the Giants had a 3-12-1 record that season. And Parcells faced a ton of criticism from the fans and the media. Frustrated by losing, Taylor started to arrive late for meetings and refused to participate in practices. But somehow, he still managed to finish the season with 9 sacks, making the All-Pro first team at both outside linebacker and inside linebacker.
Wow. How's that, bro? Is he the only person that's done that? Has made first team All-Pro at 2 different positions?
NFL history. That's crazy. To be selected a first team All-Pro at 2 positions in the same year. And following that season, LT found himself in a fight.
That's nasty work.
He accepted a $1 million interest-free 25-year loan from Donald Trump with the agreement that he would play for his USFL team, the New Jersey Generals. This was a decision that Taylor quickly regretted, not even a month after. So the Giants stepped in, bailed him out of the deal, and gave him a new 6-year, $6.25 million contract. And after
that was a lot back then, bro.
LT returned for the 84 season rejuvenated and more determined than ever to prove his dominance on the field. He returned to his outside linebacker position and had 11.5 sacks, a career high at the time. But more importantly, the Giants bounced back as well, achieving a 9-7 record, making the playoffs for the first time since Taylor's rookie year.
About the 5 sweetest words I can think of, the Giants are in the playoffs.
In 85, the Giants had another good year, finishing 10-6, spearheaded by Taylor and the defense. LT had 13 sacks, a new career best, and made his 5th straight All-Pro first team. But unfortunately, one of those 13 sacks was the worst of Taylor's career. It was a sack on Joe Theismann.
Oh yeah, that broke his leg. Damn.
And ultimately ended his career. And while Theismann doesn't blame him for the play in any way, Taylor has never seen a clip of the play and refuses to watch it.
Yeah, I don't blame him, bro.
Even though we were
rivals
and stuff, I had a lot of respect for you.
This was also a defining moment for the offensive tackle position in the NFL. Taylor was the first great pass rusher to consistently line up on the quarterback's blind side. And after seeing the damage that could be caused by not protecting it, the blindside tackle spot became a premium position, with teams placing their more talented linemen there. But even with all the changes being made to stop LT, the following season, in 1986, he put together the greatest defensive season of all time. Taylor was unstoppable. He led the Giants to a 14-2 record, the best in franchise history for a 16-game season, and recording a staggering 20.5 sacks. Mind you, this was LT's 6th season in the league, so teams were using chip blocks, double teams, and even scheming plays specifically to try and neutralize him. But nothing worked. He ended the year with another Defensive Player of the Year award, making him one of only 3 players in history to win the award 3 times, alongside J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald.
AD.
He also won League MVP, becoming one of only 2 defensive players ever to earn that award.
Who else won it?
The first to win it unanimously. The Giants rode Lawrence Taylor.
Who else won MVP as a defensive player?
All the way to Super Bowl 21, where they defeated the Broncos and hoisted their first Lombardi Trophy in franchise history. Prior to their 39-20 victory over the Broncos, they held the Niners to just 3 points in the divisional round, then shut out Washington in the conference championship. A legendary defense led to the pinnacle of the sport by one of the game's most legendary players. Unfortunately, over his next 7 seasons, Taylor only played a full 16-game season 3 times due to various occurrences, from injuries to suspensions to strikes. The latter half of his career was far from smooth sailing. But that doesn't mean LT wasn't still dominant. In '87, he had 12 sacks, despite playing just 12 games. Then, in the '88 season, he was suspended from the league for 30 days for his second substance abuse violation. Taylor checked himself into rehab, and when he returned to the field, it was like he never left. He finished the year with 15.5 sacks in 12 games, including
15 and a half sacks in 12 games. Some players are struggling to do that in the 17 games we have now.
Legendary performance against the New Orleans Saints, where LT played through a torn pectoral muscle. During the game, he forced 2 fumbles, had 7 tackles, and 3 sacks, all while being seen on the sidelines in agonizing pain between possessions. 1989 was Taylor's final first-team All-Pro season. He recorded 15 sacks and played the back half of the season injured again after he fractured his tibia. His dominance was still clear, but following the season, the Giants hit a crossroad. The Big Blue Wrecking Crew defense they'd become known for was aging. Their leader, Harry Carson, retired the year prior, and now LT's contract was up. Do you pay the 31-year-old team legend who missed significant time over the past few years, or move on? Well, just 4 days before the 1990 season opener, the Giants made their decision. They made LT the highest-paid defensive player in the league, inking a 3-year, $5.5 million deal. It was a decision that quickly paid off for the G-Men. Taylor played all 16 regular season games and led the Giants to their second Super Bowl in franchise history, defeating the Buffalo Bills. Following the season, Coach Bill Parcells, who LT had become close with, retired, and it became a matter of time before Taylor would call it quits himself. He ended up playing in the league for another 3 years before finally deciding to hang it up. His final game was a divisional round loss to the 49ers, and he said following the game, "I think it's time for me to retire. I've done everything I can do. I've been to Super Bowls, I've been to playoffs. I've done things that other people haven't been able to do in this game before. After 13 years, it's time for me to go." LT finished his career with 142 sacks, 33 forced fumbles, 11 fumble recoveries, 9 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. His 8 first
I think we just got a new sub. Appreciate you.
Most ever for a defensive player, and made him an easy Hall of Fame choice in his first year of eligibility. But the greatest form of recognition comes from other all-time greats, especially coaches. And when reflecting on Taylor's storied career, John Madden said, "Lawrence Taylor defensively has had as big an impact as any player I've ever seen. He changed the way defense is played, the way pass rushing is played, the way linebackers play, and the way offenses block linebackers." And Bill Belichick, who was the Giants' defensive coordinator during LT's time there, said, "I had the honor of coaching the greatest defensive football player in the history of the game. He helped make me a great coach." And what more really needs to be said after that? Thanks for watching Blitz. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe.
Lawrence Taylor was just on a different level, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it would never be another Lawrence Taylor. But, you know what I'm saying? You've got players that are in the NFL right now that are, you know what I'm saying, almost as dominant as him. Like guys like Myles Garrett, you know what I'm saying, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt. But there will never be another LT, bro. Like he was just unstoppable, unblockable. You know what I'm saying? Just a unbelievable player altogether. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give me you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on post notifications, get notified whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 600 subs. Time to get it for more banger NFL reaction like this. Without further ado, I'm out. Gang!